Singapore might look modern and safe, but when night falls, even the most ordinary places hide stories that never made the news. From forgotten offices to lonely roads and quiet chalets. These are the moments where reality and fear blur. These are true horror stories from Singapore. Welcome to the Morbid Codex. Golden Mile Tower. That old building near Beach Road. I used to work there as a night cleaner when the offices were still running. Place is creepy at night. The whole building smells like dust and old kopi, and the ventilation is terrible, so it's always this stuffy heat, even at 2 a.m. Every Thursday, I was assigned to the 10th floor. The 10th floor always feels different from the rest. The office space was huge but half empty because tenants had moved out. Only a few desks and some old metal cabinets. I was mopping near the pantry when I heard the sound of sweeping behind me, like a broom dragging on the floor. My first thought, today got another cleaner? But I didn't see anyone clock in that shift, so I peeked over. No one. Just the broom leaning against the wall. I shrugged it off, continued mopping, but then I noticed the wet patch I just mopped was completely dry, like someone had gone right behind me and cleaned it up faster than I could. That's when I smelled it. Dettol, strong, like freshly cleaned tiles. But the Dettol smell was coming from the far end of the office, where I hadn't reached yet. I froze, mop still in hand, and suddenly I heard a voice, soft but sharp. I cleaned already. I dropped the mop. My heart nearly stopped. The air turned so cold my sweat chilled instantly. I didn't wait. I rushed down the fire escape stairs all the way to the guard post. When I told the old security uncle what happened, he didn't even look surprised. He just said, "Oh, that one, old cleaner." He worked Golden Mile many years. Few years ago, he died of heart attack at home. Some nights, he's still working. Just ignore. He won't disturb you. The next week, they assigned me back to the 10th floor again. I almost refused, but I needed the money. So I went. The whole time, I kept my eyes on the ground, moving as fast as possible. Then I saw it. My mop bucket had been moved. I left it by the pantry, but now it was parked neatly at the other end of the corridor. Water still rippling like someone had just pushed it. That was the last straw. I told my supervisor I won't do 10th floor anymore. Call me coward, I don't care. Till today, I can't stand the smell of Dettol. Even in my own house, when my wife cleans, the moment that smell hits me, I feel my chest tighten, like the 10th floor is still following me around. This happened a couple years back when I was 23, after a late supper with friends at Geylang. It was around 1:30 a.m., and I was dead tired, so I booked a taxi near Geylang Lorong 18. The driver was an older Chinese uncle, quiet, face pale under the streetlight. I told him Hougang Avenue 8, and he just nodded. But instead of heading towards KPE, he turned into smaller side roads. At first, I thought maybe he's trying to cheat me. I snapped, "Uncle, why you go this way?" He didn't answer immediately. Then, very softly, he said, "Girl, don't talk. Just don't look out the window." I froze. I glanced outside anyway. For a split second, I swear I saw Something running alongside the taxi. No footsteps, no sound, just a blur. Every time the streetlight passed, its shape warped. Long arms, hair dragging, even though we were moving at 60 kilometers per hour. My throat went dry. I turned back, but Uncle warned me. I said, "Don't look." He sped up, cutting through industrial estates, looping around roads I'd never seen before. I wanted to scream, to call someone, but the fear locked my voice in my chest. Finally, after what felt like forever, we burst onto Upper Serangoon Road. My block was right there. He slammed the brakes. "Go. Now." "Don't turn back." I scrambled out and ran straight into the lift. Only when I reached my flat did I realize I didn't pay him. I felt guilty, so the next day I called Comfort Delgro, gave the car plate, and got the uncle's number. I called him to pay now, him the fare. He was silent for a while, then he told me, "Girl, last night when you took my cab, you were not alone." I thought he meant my friends, but the uncle continued. "There was a woman standing beside you. Very pale, hair all covering her face. When you entered my cab, she also wanted to come in, but you closed the door fast. So she followed us outside instead." He explained that's why he avoided the usual route. He kept turning here and there, hoping to lose her. He only relaxed when he no longer saw anything running along the road beside us. At the drop-off, he didn't care to collect money, just told me to go up quickly. When I heard this, my knees went weak, because I remembered, as I was fumbling with the taxi door that night, I felt a light pull on the handle. At the time, I thought the door was stuck, but now, I know. If you've ever stayed at the old Changi chalets, especially the ones near the coastal stretch, you'll know there's a certain heaviness to the air there at night. The sea breeze doesn't feel fresh, it feels damp, like it's carrying someone else's breath. A few years ago, my friends and I booked a chalet there for a weekend birthday celebration. It was one of those old units, 2-story, facing the sea. We picked it because it was cheap and got that vintage vibe. First night was normal. Barbecue, music, a few beers, nothing weird. It was only the second night, after everyone was asleep, that things started to get off. Around 3 a.m., I woke up to pee. The toilet was on the ground floor, near the kitchen. When I came down, I noticed the back door was slightly open. I didn't think much of it. Maybe someone forgot to latch it. But as I was closing it, I heard footsteps coming from outside, slow and dragging. At first, I thought it was one of my friends going for a smoke. I asked, "Bro, you outside?" But no reply, just the sound of something shifting, gravel crunching like someone circling the house. When I peeked through the window, I saw movement, a faint shape, tall, slow, walking past the outdoor pit. But the weird thing was, it wasn't casting any shadow from the porch light. I went back upstairs quickly, heart racing. Next morning I told my friends. They laughed, said I was probably seeing things. But one of them, Rachel, looked uneasy. She said she dreamt of a man knocking on the back door the same time I heard those sounds. We decided not to talk about it and checked out the next afternoon. That night, after I got home, we got a message from Rachel in our group chat. It was a photo. She had zoomed into one of our group selfies we took by the barbecue pit. Right behind us, through the window reflection, there was a man's face, pale, sunken, eyes like they were looking straight at her. We tried to laugh it off, said maybe it was a trick of the light, but then she told me she couldn't sleep because she kept hearing someone knocking on her bedroom window, even though she lived on the 9th floor. The next 2 days later, she stopped replying to messages. When I checked with her boyfriend, he said she fell sick. High fever, restless, kept mumbling about the man outside. She got better after a few days, but she never went to the Changi Chalet again. About a year later, I went back to that same chalet for another party. This time, the back door had a new lock and a cross nailed above it. I asked the security about it. He said, last time, before they renovated, got a story of a man drowning nearby. It could be him, and just as I was leaving that night, the wind picked up. The back door rattled, knock, 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 3 times. I swear I locked it. Sometimes the scariest part isn't what you see, but what you didn't notice when it happened. Because in Singapore, behind every empty room, every silent corridor, and every late-night taxi ride, something might still be there. This is the Morbid Codex.